we started with kind of this return on experience framework. And that was a big spot for us of starting to think about just not just like the kind of more transactional of like, oh, you sign up, you come in, you give us your email, you do something. Like, what's the actual like depth that we can go with a different customer? And specifically, especially from an enterprise standpoint, how can we start to look at the different actions and, you know, moments that they specifically resonate with in an environment and start to say, okay, this is really what means a lot to the brand as well as the customer.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast. We're here at the ACRONYM Villa, a little hideaway off the Palais. And we have Michael and Paul, one of the chief creative officers and the head of business strategy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Awesome, guys.
Let's do it.
So, tell me a little bit about ACRONYM and how's your guys' week been so far?
Oh, most definitely. It's been great. Just like starting to get into it. Nice. And I mean, overall at ACRONYM, like what we do is build unreal experiences for the real world. It's like building all sorts of different crazy experiences and all sorts of different things, whether it's retail, architecture, or events. And had a great week thus far. So it's awesome. Good to be sitting together.
Thanks, man. Are you guys doing any activations here at Cannes?
Not this year.
Right.
I mean, for us...
Are you guys more consumer side versus B2B?
We see a mix.
Okay,
so
nice.
We actually kind of end up in entertainment space for direct-to-consumer, but then also we see a huge portion of our work is B2B.
Okay,
but then we take B2B strategies and actually apply them to also consumer activation as well.
Awesome.
Which kind of creates a weird top-down funnel where we're taking business strategies that we can apply to the larger brand narrative, but then also apply them all the way down to actually the consumers that are actually engaging with it.
Awesome. So Experiential is, I feel like, definitely having a moment right now. I think as the internet becomes more AI-ified with, people getting emails from people they don't know and not being able to trust your social media feed, wondering if things are real or not. There's kind of a thirst for real life experiences. Sports and festivals have never been at probably a more all-time high.
It's all real experience. I mean, I think that for us, the big thing that we've seen is that audiences are more, stepping back on it, experiential by itself traditionally has kind of a connotation of being temporary, being about giveaways, being about kind of a top level engagement for a brand.
Do something and then we'll reward
you. Get a thing,
and then a digital artifact or some kind of a takeaway, but you got to jump through a hoop in order to
tote bag.
satisfy. Yeah, exactly.
And so right now I think that overall experience is moving farther into the aspect that consumers and also just audience is more discerning about where they spend their time. Mm-hmm. Because to your point, like the kind of
you don't want it to not live up to expectations if you show up to something.
But also like
world.
From a digital marketing aspect and digital media aspect, there's so much more for everyone to consume. Mm-hmm. And so you have an entirely underrepresented channel of how an audience can actually engage and meet a brand. So higher quality experience for that audience to actually come in, meet the brand, engage with it, see themselves within it in some kind of way is just a much more valuable channel than it ever has been. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of seeing a lot more kind of response to it. In the same way of like a B2B aspect of a brand marketing to actually the businesses that are using it at an enterprise scale or anything like that, it's the same tactics of how a consumer is actually using it as well, because they are more focused on how they can engage with it, but also the time that they spend with it is much more discerned. Yeah. They want a more valuable experience from what they get.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Experiential has, at times been maybe looked at as a channel that isn't as measurable, especially like in the world of attribution models where you can drill down to ROAS and cost per acquisition and a lot of these lower funnel metrics. Are you guys seeing any innovation on the measurement side, being able to quantify the value of an activation to brand and compare it to other channels, even though, the value of an in-person impression, I would say, is way more important than seeing a banner ad or something like that.
Well, an impression value has totally changed.
Yeah.
It's not the same aspect that it's been measured at in the past of like digital footprint of impression value. And so the kind of ROI from it from a more traditional standpoint has completely changed, which we've been working on kind of ways of discretely tracking and actually building kind of dynamic to it, which, Paul, if you want to speak to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we started with kind of this return on experience framework. And that was a big spot for us of starting to think about just not just like the kind of more transactional of like, oh, you sign up, you come in, you give us your email, you do something, like what's the actual like depth that we can go with a different customer, and specifically, especially from an enterprise standpoint, how can we start to look at the different actions and moments that they specifically resonate with in an environment, and start to say, okay, this is really what means a lot to the brand as well as the customer. And so I think that where things have shifted specifically on the enterprise standpoint is really looking at patterns as to how we can measure collectively like the way people experience our activations, how we can start to embed things like RFID, NFC, all those kind of things.
Like geofencing a location,
exactly.
Kind of seeing everybody that comes through and then being able to retarget them later in other channels.
Yeah, it's the retargeting for sure based on like what they did, but it's as much also the learning about the product and the ways that we can innovate and think about like, a big thing for us is like we do Gatorade Super Bowl activation every year. And so for us, like that's, you get the primetime retailers all in one space to say, hey, what does Kroger want? What does 7-Eleven want? What do all these different people want?
That consumer cohort is a much more important group of people than maybe, not more important, but maybe from a business perspective, more important than a consumer maybe sampling a new product at a giveaway or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, specifically shelf space is a really good example of a competitive environment where standing out is really important. Like you really have to take that singular moment and make sure that you communicate why should you put our product on shelves versus someone else.
Yeah.
You have to in that moment, and you get a very limited amount of time with a very executive audience, and I think that it's very relatable to a lot of other companies. They're all dealing with it, but I think shelf space has historically been a really competitive environment for people to own. And so I think that specifically within Experience, it's been something where it's not just about communicating what's the innovation layer or what is special about this product. It's also about really understanding the customer, adapting the environment, and creating something that's a bit more dynamic to like, what does it actually mean for a company versus another? Yeah. And I think that that's something that really starts to cut through a bit of the noise, where instead of kind of this one-to-many aspect within Experience, we're really talking on a one-to-one level with a lot of different companies, really saying like, this is not just like, hey, from me to you, like, here's what the product does, you should buy it.
Yeah.
It's more like, no, here's what the product does for you as an individual, and here's why you specifically as a business should be interested in this. And I think our environments are really improving, as well as Experience as a whole is being asked to do more as a category to really own, hey, this isn't just a blanket statement. It's not a spray and pray. It's specifically like we use technology, we use all the kind of things that we've really specialized in over the years of being like, hey, let's build cool shit in a way that's authentic to us, but let's make sure that it really hits on like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? You know, what is this product about? And we need to make sure that that really like pulls on the heartstrings for people. And I think that that's like the way that things are really changing quite a bit.
Love it. You guys broke a Guinness Book of World Records recently. You want to talk a little bit about that work?
Turns out it's... I mean, recently with that one, was it was a fast turn project. We've done a lot of entertainment work with brands like Netflix, especially in kind of the stunt side of things. And there's the eyeballs that you can get on it with actually the experience itself.
And there's the PR moment.
And there's the PR after it. With that one, though, I think that it also really represents what we're passionate about. We started as a business from the idea of we want to do things that are really challenging to us. And like, look, the Stranger Things drone show was, there was no reason that it needed to be 5,000 drones. Absolutely none. But could we? And also realistically, could we actually do it in a way that still created kind of all the compelling aspects of what it needed to do from a brand perspective for Netflix, but how could we push it further? So I don't think that even from that aspect, we started the entire design process of it from the idea of how could it be the most maximal of anything that it could be, but kind of ended up there. And then ultimately we did, break a Guinness World Record for
Let's
it.
Go. Awesome, man. Congratulations. Well, it's fun to do hard things, right?
Yeah, nothing easy is fun. It's all fun.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing some amazing work. If folks at home want to reach out, connect with the agency, or follow along with your guys' thought leadership, where do you want to point people to?
I mean, look at our website, our Instagram. You can find both Paul and I on LinkedIn, but also, I mean, check out the wider network. We are only a part of a wider story of a lot of people creating really high-class work.
Awesome.
And best in craft and everything. So check out also the entire Residence network to it, too.
Let's go. Do you want to talk a little bit about Residence and what it is? And
how
you guys fit in the mix?
So, I mean, Resonance is in a lot of ways, it's our kind of answer to, I think, the change in network dynamic, but it really is about a group of best in craft companies of what they do, independently operating within a network, but also with the shared capability and shared vision of really still doing the best and also highest class creative work that we can.
Awesome.
I think that
the new holdco.
It's a new holdco. It's like it's the wild holdco. But also for us, it is like I think with 9 companies in network, we are the best at what we do, each of us individually. And then we have the ultimate superpower of really coming in and being able to tap each other for the expertise, for the point of view, for the craft of what each company does. So it's not necessarily about the added services of any one company all coming together, but it is really about the ability to work with a client and then bring in another one of our partner companies to do the thing that they do very, very well to further service that client need.
That's awesome.
But also, most importantly, bring in that point of view. It's experts at the table that can actually do the work.
Awesome.
All together. So,
well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you spending some time. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
On YouTube, finding the right audience to build a media plan requires hours of research. And optimizing campaigns is time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game. That's why we built technology to do it for you. Strike Social.